Is that what the final boss is gonna be? It's just gonna be like a lady with gigantic tits, like the biggest tits in the whole game. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the bigger your tits are, the more dangerous you are. Because that seems to be a recurring pattern, because obviously Io is like the most important, right? So maybe she's the final boss, who knows? I doubt that though.
What is it?
So we are going to restore some vestiges. And we're gonna get a little bit of story stuff. Because I want Bridge to Glory instead of my shitty attack boost that I have. Because I'm pretty sure if I use Bridge to Glory, I'll be getting like a much better attack boost. I'm not sure though. Oh cool, we get this music again. Oh dude, this song is beautiful, are you kidding? I want this shit on iTunes, like immediately. The fuck are you on about? This is so weird. I don't understand what's going on. Ah, fucking religious people. Just grow up and get over it, dude. God damn it. Oh, forgive me, for I have sinned. Yeah, everybody does. Part of life. Not anything important. You don't need to repent shit. Get the fuck up off your knees and do something good. Go serve at a soup kitchen. Or, you know, donate clothes to the homeless or something. Toys for tots, that kind of thing. Make a difference in the world. I'm not gonna sit there and be a better person by praying to Jesus every night. Fucking retard. Do you have less clothes on than you did before? Because I feel like you have less clothes on.
Why was she apologizing?
Probably for stealing your jacket.
The sin within us.
Greed, or glutton, or whatever the fuck that would be.
What could it be that I have somehow managed to forget?
God, that fucking song is so obnoxious. Not the beautiful one with the soothing voice, I mean the
What is it?
piano one. Fucking annoying. It's like the 50th time I've heard that throughout this game, I think. Yeah, so basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put off the final boss for a hot minute. And then what I'm going to do is to keep the immersion intact, is I'm going to put all this vestige shit after the game is concluded.
I cannot let myself.
And then people can watch it if they give a fuck, and if they don't give a fuck, you don't have to.
I must find my successor. I must defend my successor.
You didn't defend me for shit! I was defending myself the whole fucking time! Although, you know what, you could have been my partner. I could have, you know what, that's a fair point. I could have taken her as my partner, and I just didn't. Although, if she wanted to defend me, she could have offered to have been my partner from the very get-go. That would have helped. But no, she's like, I don't fight. I'm not a fighter. Blah, blah, blah. But you're sitting there saying, I gotta find my successor to defend them. And then you don't fight. How can you be a protector and a pacifist at the same time? Kinda contradictory.
Those many attendants must have met the same fate, struggling to be with their successors.
Oh, that sounds depressing.
To ash without ever.
I haven't even fought the final boss yet, man.
And it could have been the same for me. If I had made one mistake, I would have been doomed as well.
Well, it's okay, you're not doomed. Now we can have hot lesbian sex on your bed in front of everybody. And they can record it. And that'll save all of humanity. All the lost will revert back to being people, they'll regain their humanity, and they'll be like, oh, this is pretty hot, actually. And we'll be the saviors of mankind.
What is it?
Or not. Or we could restore more vestiges, that's cool too. Fucking Night Fang. Sounds like a really shitty rock band. That only plays small venues. And they charge like 15-20 bucks for tickets. I love these tendril things. These things are cool. Because I've noticed at every crypt they pretty much have these, except for the cathedral one. The successor of the ribcage. Successor of the breath has them. Successor of the claw has them. Successor of the throat has them.
I could not prevent your frenzy. In the end, I failed you. I could do nothing more than watch as your death finally.
You do realize you're talking to a pile of ashes, right? Could you imagine your family member dies, and then you watch them get incinerated, and then you sit there and try and talk to them as if they're still there? Kinda look like an idiot, wouldn't you? A little bit. So I'm guessing this is all very heavily story-based, which is why you come across her code, like... Staunchy, what the fucking Christ, dude? Scared the shit out of me, man. Thank you so much for the sub for 2 months in a row, bro. I think you are the first person to sub to my sorry ass for more than 1 month. Thank you, Staunchy. I owe you one, man. Thank you so much. How you can sit here and listen to me prattle on about bullshit is beyond me. Although I am going to be fighting a big scary final boss soon, so... I'm going alright, man. So far so good. Although I haven't done anything yet, so that's probably why it's so good so far. Once I enter this final boss fight, though, I have heard this boss fight is quite fucking tough. I've heard it's really hard, so, Although the last time somebody told me something was really hard, that was the Bloodborne DLC, and I completely fucking steamrolled it and face-tanked everything, so we'll see how it goes. Also, she's wearing clothes that wouldn't even keep her warm. I've been doing fine, and I've been going through hot climates, snowy climates. I have everything going on. I got the straps and the style to prove it, too. Right, how many more of these do we have to go? Like 50,000? Great. Might as well get them out of the way, though. I did get some NPC weapons, though, but I can't use them. Because I already have the NPC greatsword, but it's kind of a piece of shit. It does a lot of damage, but its moveset is very, very AIDS. It's very bad. Oh yeah, by the way, I changed up my gear a little bit, so now you'll notice that I'm wearing some 6 silver armor. So I basically swapped some stuff around to see if I could wear this to help me prevent from getting staggered so much. But, in this game, it just doesn't seem to make a difference. Things with tiny weapons can one-shot you, little quick enemies can fucking stagger you. The things with greatswords can stagger you instantly, but you have to hit them like 3 or 4 times. It's really fucking unbalanced. It's really dumb. Even though I'm using a greatsword myself. Also, so I looked up the successor of the throat boss, and something funny I found is that she's entirely resistant to electricity, and she's highly resistant to crush damage, and those are the only types of damages I was doing to her, so that's why I was having such a bad time with her. See, when I was fighting her, I didn't want to look up what her weakness was, because I don't want to know, you know? Like, I kind of want to just face tank it and beat it when I beat it the first time around. And then after I've beaten it before, I don't give a shit about looking up the resistances and the weaknesses and stuff like that. I don't really care. But I feel like it takes a degree of difficulty in learning away from the boss if you just, like, look up what it's weak to. So I didn't want to do it. Staunchy, I did use a partner on the duo boss, if you didn't hear about it. Basically, I tried it once, and then I was like, their health pool is way too massive for me to, The little quick one with the sword is way too aggressive, and I can't hit her at all. And then I have to avoid the fucking tubby one shooting shit at me and doing AoEs, and I have to avoid her sliding around and being constantly aggressive up my ass, also doing AoEs. It's just, it feels really unbalanced. So I used a partner on it. And I feel like that boss was specifically designed for you to use a partner on. Like, to me it felt like, I'm sure it's doable without a partner, but, like, it felt like it was, on a set of scales, it was, like, weighed to be done with a partner, if that makes sense. Don't really care, I did partner my whole first playthrough with the plan to do New Game Plus partnerless. Ah, I see. Yeah, Lethal basically told me, like, I'm sure you know who Lethal is, but he basically told me this game would be a lot more enjoyable for me, like, given my playstyle, if I didn't use a partner, and I think he was right. Yeah, so he basically said, if you want a little bit of difficulty with this game, I feel like you'd enjoy it best without a partner. And, he was right. Because basically using the partner, you can almost never die. The only time you die is in boss fights, and that's hardly ever. That's, like, few and far between. I'd rather die on a boss 3 or 4, like, in Juza Mido, you know, or, the Sand Bitch's case, like, 15 times before I beat it. That's just rather the experience I would have. Just never went back to the game. My friend told me that there is another final boss, but it's like a secret final boss, and there's a certain condition you have to meet, but he didn't tell me what the condition is. So we may either get 1 final boss fight, or we may get 2. So, either way, this is probably going to be a very short stream, probably a little bit less than an hour, depending on how the final boss goes. But I'm definitely putting all my eggs in one basket that I won't beat it on the first, like, try or 5 tries or something like that. it's probably gonna be quite rough, depending on how well I can adapt to the moveset and how bullshit it hits. Like how hard it hits and how difficult the moveset is to learn, so... different things I learn at different paces, so if it's a fight that I learn really slowly, it's probably gonna take a while. But if it's a fight that I can adapt to really, really quickly, I've heard it's kinda like a PvP match, but I don't know in terms of what. Like, I don't know what that entails. I've never seen this boss, I've never seen its moveset, I have no idea what the fuck this final boss is about. And I'm assuming it's the final boss, because this area looks pretty fucking endgamey, if I had to guess, and this game's been quite long so far, for a first playthrough. I think it's been a little bit over 40 hours, so... I can't get over her obscene camel toe, it's ridiculous. If it's not big titties, it's something else, there's some sort of trade-off. See, she doesn't have big tits, so they gave her a flat chest, and then they gave her a crazy-ass camel toe. Crazy. Even me in my leather bondage strap outfit with the red and black going, I feel like I'm the most normal person in this entire room. Kind of a weird vibe. We all look like we belong at some, like, underground EDM club or some shit. It's weird. Oh yeah, really? Is that why you have a giant-ass tattoo? You look like a biker. And you have a belly button piercing, which I never noticed before. It's kinda hot, actually. Oh, and you're a tsundere too. Ooh. Tsundere? She's a blacksmith, and she has a belly button piercing. I like where this is going. Incredible, really. It's almost like the game knew I was gonna play it, didn't it?
What is it?
Nothing. See, she's concerned. Alright, how many more of these do we have? 3? Alright, that's not too bad. I'm not trying to put off the final boss, but I do want to get this shit out of the way. That way people can, like, get the whole story. Even if I'm talking over it and making bullshit. I don't want to, like, leave anything out that I could otherwise, like, show on screen, pretty much. What's going on now? Oh. Wait, didn't I watch this one? I swear to God I watched this one.
No kidding. So you're the maniac they call Yasha. How old are you anyway?
16.
You're still just a kid.
I was gonna say, there better not be any, like, pedophilia promotion up in here. I'm gonna have some words. I do have a big greatsword, don't tempt me. I'll castrate you with it. Although, granted, it's kind of big donk, it's not really sharp, but... Although the point of using greatswords is not to cut your enemies, it's to crush your enemies.
Whoa, watch out! We got a fire-breathing captain here.
Those two are gonna be the first to die. I call it right now, absolutely. They're gonna be the first to die because they're not taking anything seriously. Like, have you ever seen Attack on Titan where they're like, oh yeah, these Titans are fucking brutal and they're ruthless. Like, if you get caught, like, you're fucking dead. And all these kids are like, oh, whatever, we'll beat their ass. And then they, like, fly out there on their jet gears and get fucking chomped. It's hilarious. It's super funny. They get really overzealous and, like, half of them die straight out the gate. It's fucking hilarious. It's amazing shit. Nothing like some good old cannibalism to put you in your place, eh? That sounds sexy.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, if you happen to track down any more of my...
Yeah, they go through, like, some crazy rigorous, like, army training or something, like... You know how astronauts, like, kind of prepare for, like, space travel with, like, centrifugal force and, like, gravity and, like, the giant whirligig machine that goes around and around or whatever, so they can, like, feel, like, what it would feel like going that fast? And, like, they have to adjust to it before they, like, go up into the atmosphere or whatever, so there's no, like, health complications.
What is it?
That's what they basically did. They basically trained the workforce in Attack on Titan. And then, like, half the kids went out there and, like, just died straight off the bat. It was fucking hella funny. It was super realistic, because that's what would happen, you know? Like, everybody sits here and talks about the zombie apocalypse, and they're like, oh yeah, like, I'd be fine. And then it's like, when it actually happens, you have no idea what you're doing. You'd panic. You wouldn't use your best judgment, you'd shit your pants. Maybe shit and cum. Depending on what you're into. Have you played any of the Attack on Titan games? No, they all look fucking abysmally bad. I wouldn't touch those with a 40-foot pole. Dude, I wouldn't pick up Sekiro to touch those games with. They look super awful.
Captain, I really don't think we have time for that.
What do you mean?
The Lost House is completely surrounded.
The Lost didn't have you completely surrounded, you were surrounded by your friends with guns. It's like the NRA. I told you! What did I say? What the fuck did I say? Everybody acts like hot shit until the demons come out, and then everybody gets raped. You get raped, 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 all of you get raped. I told you, they go out there talking hot shit, and then they actually get into combat, and then they just die one by one. They drop like flies, man, I fucking told you. I've been some places, man, I've seen some shit. I know. I know how it goes. First one really wasn't that bad, very linear but enjoyable. I only had to look at the demo for the second one, but I don't like how the movement felt. The Titans looked really, really strange. Granted, they look strange in the show, but, like, the animation actually, like, kind of pulls it together and makes it tolerable. But the games just look like weird 3D SFM porn. And especially with the Titans. Not my cup of tea, man. I couldn't get into it. Fucking weird. Don't get me wrong, I'm about as weird as my neighbor next door. I'm sure he's into some shit too. Like, I'm pretty sure he, like, ties up the male woman and, like, locks her in his basement and then, like, I have a package for you, ma'am. And, like, role reversal and all that, but I can't get that freaky with the Titans, bro. I just can't. It's fucking weird. I thought you were like a super assassin or whatever. Dude, both those options seem like a dick move. It's like, oh, your friends died because you were unreliable, so that's why you're a support? And she's like, ow. It's like, yeah, there was no really delicate way to put that, was there? Don't worry about ditching people, dude. I have a skill. I can heal you if you get scared and get your ass kicked. Oh yeah, speaking of being scared and getting your ass kicked, multiplayer in this game sucks ass. It's horribly bad. It's super terrible. So, basically with multiplayer, you can go and set restrictions, right? I can't show you. Oh yeah, I can show you. So, you can set a matchmaking password and then you have, like, the regions and shit. But it doesn't matter what you set it to because you're gonna lag like a motherfucker. Whenever you join somebody's game, enemies and you are gonna be sliding around like some fucking syrupy waffles, bro. Like, it's super bad. It feels like everything is super buttery and like things are glitching across the ground and like it's awful. I would not recommend it until they like fix the netcode because it's super bad. I understand it's a small dev team, so it's probably like really impressive for what they had to work with. And I'm not trying to, like, rag on them for that, so. For a small dev team, I'm quite impressed with what they've done, but, like, they need to take some shit with this game and improve upon it and make it less irritating. But it's very promising. If they created a sequel to this, I could see it being much, much better, potentially. And this game's already pretty quality as it is. Except for some bullshit here and there. Some dropped inputs, some fucky hitboxes, some weird hit detection, some crap like that. What's up, Rosie? How's it going? You are not Mario, dude. You guys see Rosie trying to steal Mario's identity? Rosie, Mario has like fucking 40 games, bro. If you're trying to steal Mario's identity, first of all, you're gonna have to take some hormones. Second of all, you're gonna have to grow a sick mustache. Third of all, you're gonna have to be Italian, but half Italian because he's actually from New York, but he's depicted as Italian for whatever fucking reason. So you have some work to do, Rosie. Not to mention a sex change. So, you got a list of chores cut out for you, my darling. You're half Italian. Well, to be Mario, you have to be full Italian. Oh, and you have to have a steady diet of weirdly colored mushrooms, which I would not recommend that anybody else eat. Fight you? Dude, Mario can't fight. Why do you think he jumps on people all the time? Mario fights like a punk. Except for when you play Paper Mario 2 and you turn into the Great Gonzalez, Paper Mario's sick alter ego. You step into the ring and you fuck up Rockhawk and fuck his day up. Jump me? Oh, you didn't put a winky face. That could have been very sexual. Missed opportunities, man. That's alright. You'll get them next time, Rosie. Get back out there. You thought about it? I see. Played it safe, did we? Even though I'm the more perverted one out of the two of us, I think. Personally. There's only one person I know that can out-pervert me, and he's just like... he's not a sexual predator, but he's like borderline sexual predator mode. It's kind of creepy in a way. I worry for his health and his well-being. Speaking of weird sexual predators, this sinister piano is not helping set the mood, is it?
They were all trying to protect me? What the hell did they think they were doing?
They were trying to save the hot bitch, which is what anybody logically would have done. If you're gonna die, you might as well save the hot bitch so somebody else can have a good time. Oh, this feelsy music for her being, like, unreliable and self-conscious. It's actually kind of nice. Where's the boobs, my dude? Let the camera pan around, and they're all over the place, except Murasame. Zing. Hug me until I turn blue. With your legs. Around my neck, please. I mean... What?
Thank you for this. You've allowed me to finally take a good look at my
Huh?
I can't cower anymore.
I'm pretty good at pulling the stuff out of nowhere and making shit work, aren't I?
Sure I'll ever fight on the front lines again.
I'm pretty good at improv, if I do say so myself.
I have to do my best.
Speaking of being good at improv, that's probably what God did to your chest, huh? He didn't have any more big ones, and he's like, fuck it, whatever. It'll do. Got the bottom of the barrel type shit. Fucking sucks. Natural selection at its finest. More like unnatural selection. Because everybody else in this game has ginormous titties except for you. Like, look at her. She's fucking stacked, bro. She's like a fucking vanilla ice cream cone from Dairy Queen, for sure. And then you look at Yakumo. Yakumo's more stacked than Murasame is. Look at that. Insane. Coco's stacked as fuck as well. She's pretty hot, but in, like, a horror way. Like, she's hot if you're not feeling your best and you just want to settle for something. That kind of thing. Like, if you don't really care if you catch a disease or not. That kind of thing. Alright, we have 2 more vestiges to go. Only revenants with a high enough compatibility are chosen to become successors, and even most of them eventually succumb to corruption that transforms their bodies. Ah, so that's why everybody's turning into horrific monstrosities. Okay. That would make sense.
I'm looking for the woman in this picture. Do you know anything about her?
I haven't seen her around. What's her name?
Jessica. I don't know her full name.
What, her full name is Jessica, bro. That's why there's a full and a last name. They're 2 separate things.
The price doesn't matter. Just tell me what you find out.
I love being a helicopter. I love doing that. It's super fun. Can I go like 5 seconds in this game without coming across a crumbled or a ruined city? They have like a really bad fetish for that. That is one thing, that's another complaint I have about this game. Some of the environments are really good and really interesting, and then some of them are really bland and really boring. And the way they connect doesn't really feel that interconnected. And it kind of breaks away from the immersion. So if I had to give the developers any critique, make the passages between areas a little bit less long. And ruined cities are a little bit overdone in this game. There's like 3 or 4 of them. And it just gets a little tasteless, I guess, and it's kind of uninteresting. You know what is interesting? How I'm able to pivot on one heel and do this. It's pretty impressive, I do say so myself. Put myself on America's Got Talent, or whatever the fuck. God, I hate this stupid slow walkie bullshit. It takes so long. I wish you could just be like, are you done viewing the memory or whatever, and you didn't have to like walk through this door or whatever back into reality or whatever the fuck. Like, I get you're walking through their memories or whatever, but it's a little obnoxious. Like, could we take an escalator or like some stairs or like an elevator or a car or something?
I wonder if Naomi ever achieved her goal.
Who cares?
Anyway, don't go pulling up memories like those. I have a reputation, you know?
No, that's on you, bitch. You said any memories of mine, please tell me, or whatever, so I tell you, and now you're saying not to tell you, so make up your fucking mind, you thought.
Look, trust me on this. No one needs to know me that well.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Real character, you know that?
Because you look like somebody would just go and fuck on a bad day, like as an angry, like, fuck, you know?
I probably should have figured.
Like you get in a fight with your wife, and then you're like,
Well,
I'll get back at that bitch by fucking somebody else. You know, I can only see that as a positive thing. Like, who are you hurting, honestly? Your wife that's pissed off at you?
your neck out there, so I guess being
I mean, you're having a good time, she's having a good time, your wife's being a bitch, why not, right?
I told you that
Same thing goes for you, ladies. If your husband's being a dick, go and bang some other dude.
I'd always been a frail kid. This was back before the Great Collapse. As a single mom, I was struggling just to keep the two of us alive. Some of the stuff I did. Well, let's just say it wasn't exactly legal.
Huh?
I promised him that no matter how hard it got,
Huh?
we'd still live our lives our own way.
Did she just basically, like, kind of imply that she's a megathought?
They told me
Because I feel like she kind of,
and they took him away from me.
feel like she kind of just implied that she's a megathought.
I don't know. I guess they decided that I didn't have what it would take to raise my own kid. I didn't know how else to get him back.
So social services came because you're a prostitute and took your kid away. Sounds about right.
Not long after
What's up, Ian, dude? We're almost done with the game, man. Honestly, like, if you get past the anime aesthetic and you're not into it, I recommend it. Honestly, like, I know you like Dark Souls. If you like Dark Souls, having played it myself, you'll like this game, man.
there was something I'd forgotten.
It does a few new things with the formula. There's some weird build customization, which is pretty neat. Basically you have different codes and they restrict you to a certain playstyle, but you can learn, different abilities from the other codes and inherit them, and basically put them on anything, with some limitations for certain moves and shit like that. But it's really cool. You can use guns, you can use great swords, you can use great hammers, you can use, slashy swords, you can use,
I guess I did. Some nice things, though.
I feel like there's some other stuff, but I'm just not thinking of it.
Anyway, I'm going to keep living the way I want to from now on.
Yeah, it's
I refuse to
Advanced Souls dumbed down Neo. Yeah, exactly. That's how I would describe it. That's exactly how I'd describe it. It feels like Dark Souls 2, but faster paced. And I know you can stomach DS2, so if you like DS2 and you can put up with DS2, this game will be, like, really good. And you'll definitely struggle with it. I recommend going through it without a partner if you want the Souls-like feel. Because honestly, like, speaking from my own perspective, if you have a lot of Soulsborne experience, going through it with a partner is way too fucking simple for, like, Souls players with experience in this kind of genre. So, if you want a challenge and you want a learning curve, go by yourself. Don't look up anything, don't look up any resistances or weaknesses to anything, just go through it, like, and just do it how you do it. And what you struggle on is what you struggle on, and appreciate it for the struggle. I've only gotten brickwalled, or I only struggled on 2 bosses in this game. And one of them is because I was using a weapon that she was entirely resistant to. So the fight took like twice as long, so that's why that one was hard. And then secondly, the other one is basically really bad fucky hitboxes and really stupid bullshit. May try it once I get past my backlog of games. Yeah, dude, I definitely recommend it. The only problem with this game that I can tell you that it has, like, combat-wise, is once you play it yourself, you'll understand what I mean. The way you swing your weapon is, some weapons are not good at hitting specific types of enemies. So, for example, if there's really small, fast enemies and you're using a heavy weapon, your likelihood of hitting them goes down to, like, 30% or something like that, just because they're so nimble and they move around you so much. And, with the way the weapons swing in this game, you often hit to the side of things, and the hitboxes in this game are really tight for shit. Same with the backstab animations. You have to be, like, directly behind something. But by the way it turns, you have to, like, adjust your angle. It's really, really strange. You'll see what I mean. But, yeah, the hit detection is a little bit bad. Some of the hitboxes are a little bit ridiculous. Some of the lingering effects are kind of horseshit. And then, ganks in this game are fucking retarded bad. They throw enemies on you like 5 or 6 at a time sometimes, and you can get hit staggered and stun locked very easily and just killed. And it's really annoying. It's something you'd think you get used to, but you never truly get used to it. It's really fucking stupid. It's really dumb. Like, as a viewer, you can see it when it happens, and it's frustrating for bad reasons. Other than that, it's a very good quality game for such a small dev studio, and I'm quite impressed with it. As a Dark Souls player, I like it a lot. A sequel to this game shows a lot of potential if they were to make one. But I've heard this game is a prequel to the God Eater series, so I can't imagine they would make a sequel of this, but should they so decide to and tie it in a different way, or if they were to have another Code Vein take place after the events of God Eater or something, and they come up with a different story or something like that, and there's a Code Vein 2, I would totally buy it, day one. But yeah, it's a very small dev team, and what they've done for, like, how small their team is quite impressive.
Thank you so much for helping, Jessica. It's impossible to express just how grateful I am.
Yeah, but this game, if I had to describe the way it plays, it feels like a quicker-paced, smoother DS2.
Even if I had
It's just a little bit janky in the combat in certain places. Some of the hit detection is very precise, some of the positioning is really precise. And there's some dropped inputs in this game, as, you know, per usual. But, for those who don't know, I use a Bluetooth wireless controller. So I don't know if it's something blocking the signal or something, and that's why inputs randomly drop sometimes, but I think I want to get a wired controller at some point and see if I can test a difference and see if I can feel a difference, because there are genuine times where I know I push it and the game just does not take it, and it's really frustrating. Because, like, I'm one of those players that can admit to errors when I'm conscious of making them and I know I fuck up or I'm greedy or something like that. But, like, when I know the inputs are not working right, then I get a little bit pissed off. Especially when it causes me a loss or something, or, like, a death or whatever. Then it's, like, compoundingly more irritating, but... yeah. So, Ian, if you're interested in playing this game based on, like, how I kind of described it to you, I'm coming up on the final boss, so if you don't want to see the final boss, there's your warning.